Norma, Deception and Redemption by Joan Malkerson. The opera Norma takes place in the 3rd century of ancient Britain, where the Celts were occupying the land and the upper-class Druids had the power of law, nature, and the answers to the mysteries of the universe. The Druids were anthropomorphic. The natural world was full of omens and spirits, both good and bad. Norma was a Druid high priestess who was in the process of leading the Celts to war to conquer the Romans. Her power was enormous, and the Celts revered her every word. While she was a powerful woman, she was also a loving woman, and had fallen from her vows of chastity as a high priestess to love and bear children with one of the conquering Romans, Polione. This exhibit follows the artist's responses to the natural world of the Druids, and, in the storyline of the opera, to Norma's unveiling of deceit and remorse for her human love. Bellini's music boldly lights the shadows of the unveiling truth of deception and love.
The beautiful music is the soul of the opera. And as I listened to it, I just used all kinds of different inks and materials, bamboo pens, brushes, and let the gesture of the music kind of move the drawing. And some of it's very delicate and soft, just like the music, and some of it's bold and steady, and so it's really just a response to the different chords or the different tones and things like that I listen to. Marilyn Zimmerman said, it'd be really great if you did a light projection, and I thought, well, I've never done that before. It sounded interesting, and as it turned out, she really loved my drawings, and so she had a vision to see them large. And I hadn't really thought about them that way. And then they move. The drawings move, just like the opera moves.
Yes.
Right, well, this is the Paris chiffon, And I took the drawings and thought about putting them on fabric, because I usually have fabric in my work. It just seems to have followed me along. And this time I found a company that would print on this very translucent material. And I thought, well, that's going to work. And I love the movement of fabric. I like the way it kind of divides the space. Yeah, the tree spirits, I started working on those after I did the larger collages. And the tree spirits, I'm still collaging. I'm still happy about all these different, materials. And I didn't have a real intent. I didn't exactly know what I was going to do, but I feel like I found sort of the core of the tree, or the inside of that spirit world that they love so much and believe in. So they have a little anthropomorphic, appearance. Here, talking to her community of Druids, her family of Druids, and convincing them in the opera not to attack the Romans, because her lover is Polione and she doesn't want to have him threatened by war. So this is her gathering her people and singing to them about to wait, don't attack the Romans yet. And the very famous Costa Diva is the aria that she sings, and it's very well known. And then this is a woman that I did her portrait several years ago, but she just seemed like the high priestess. And she did the necklaces on the Druids.
And these are, you made these are ceramic.
Druids, yeah, they're ceramic. And I like just slab work. I like slabs and heavy clay and that type of form, geometric forms. And then, as you and I talked about today, it was really fun to think about these wooden forms, almost like a Stonehenge kind of thing, that were given to me from another friend. So I think I've said this, and I can't say it often enough, that this really felt like a collaborative installation. A lot of people participated.
Yes, obviously you did all the heavy work, but just the way the lighting was put together, everything. Did you decide where to hang everything?
Yes. I love this space down here, and as you know, I had another show down here, so I'm just attached to
it's magic.
The old rafters and the brick walls and the old floor. Druids, in order to have their ceremonies, part of their ritual was to go into the oak forest and find the balls of mistletoe. And those were very sacred. The mistletoe was something that they worshipped with. It was a healing herb, and it was, well, she always wore it in her hair.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, and it's an ancient herb that heals people. It goes all the way back to Egypt. And they, just like the Egyptians used honey, they used mistletoe to cure cancer. So if you look it up, it's really a curious herb because it is a plant that can kill a tree, mistletoe, but it has a symbiotic relationship. Anyway, they found this in the deep forest. So that's where they would have their ceremonies on a full moon.
On a full moon, and that's the full moon.
Yeah, I call these the two torsos. And for me, they kind of represent Norma and Adelegia, the other high priestess. And they had a relationship which was adversary because they both loved the same man, Polione. But in the end, and in this beautiful aria, they become friends, and Norma begs Adelegia to take care of her children so that they won't be blamed for her indiscretions.
Wow. And
it's really, the harmonies in that piece are exquisite. And so I wanted to highlight that forgiveness and that it's part of her redemption, that someone will listen to her and take care of her children when she has to leave and walk into the fire. And this piece is talking to them. I feel like they're kind of in a conversation because this is where she has to come to grips with her shadow and the fact that she needs the courage, which is that piece over there, to talk to her people and sort of confess what the situation was. But the hardest thing to do, it's one thing to be forgiven by someone else, but the hardest thing to do is to forgive yourself. So I feel like this has something to do with her coming into the light of truth and talking about what happened and the pieces of her life, are there, and she's accepting herself for who she is. This is her forest.
Okay.
So these are gesture drawings of trees with oil and just on a white canvas. And then the collage up there is another large, collage with her there under the moon with her owl and the raven. And I think this is the kind of power that these high priestesses had. I mean, they had to organize their societies so that they would survive. So the high priestess would connect with the gods and tell them, and make offerings and rituals to ensure rain and fertility and all the things that would keep a society growing. And that was her position in the Celtic culture.